So who knows how this is going to work out? And that is going to show you exactly how to drill out the joists. It is about 3 million degrees and it's an absolute weapon. And I mean an absolute weapon. No, absolutely freezing outside. It's to keep all your holes in the centre of the joists. Yo, morning, welcome to the channel. So today I am here on our big build project to sort out some electrics, which has really made Sean happy. Now, knowing full well that the concrete is coming, Sean was a little bit shocked that I'd turned up today. So what are you doing here? It's only 1.5 cube. I don't think you need to be here to help. And I agreed with him, but I've got to be working up here. So I've come up with this genius plan of sheeting it all out, which I didn't really get a chance to because the concrete wagon, which is outside, which is that big fella, beat me to it, so I couldn't get set up properly. So it was a mad rush to get the sheeting up, and then I ran out of staples, which was fantastic. So who knows how this is going to work out, but I might as well show you a bit more what these boys are doing. So whilst we were doing the construction, it's been noticed that we took a big wall out here. So this here, wall out. And yeah, so the problem is with that, this was an extension prior. Shawnee, was that right? Sorry, mate. Extension 70s, 80s, is it? Something like that? Yeah. That it was badly built. And also, the problem is with that, there was no insulation, wasn't really done properly. I'm trying not to get in the way of the lads because it is non-stop with all this. Floor levels were all wrong as well, so then obviously the decision's been made, it all got dug out, and the lads are now sorting all this out. So there is insulation all underneath there, hardcore, everything, sand, all that sort of jazz, and a proper damp-proof membrane. So what the lads are now doing, we've got a mix on-site mixer, obviously, as you've seen out there. And the good thing about that is it will literally mix what we need for the job. So what Sean has got now, he has got the Staff of Dreams, which is then connected to that, which is basically a very fancy laser level, which will tell him, as long as I don't knock that, which will mean he will knock this, if I knock it out of the way. So what they're doing is sorting out the corners and a straight run. And it is absolutely roasting as well. So obviously, why wouldn't you be doing concrete on one of the hottest days of the year? So Shawnee, what he's doing now, is using his 6-foot level as a bit of a tamp to try and get most of like the air pockets and all the rest of it out and level it out as good as it needs to be. Oh, look at the action. Look at the action going. Woo. He has done that a few times. So lads are going to be constantly coming in. Look, this is what I should be doing. This is welcome to the normal channel. This is what I should be doing, all of this. Nice picture of the radiator. So Sean's sorting all this lot out, and then it's actually going to be shallower here by 50 mil, which eventually will mean it'll have a top dressing of screed, which will be your finished level. So if you're new to the channel and you haven't yet subscribed, make sure you do. Link is in the corner. And you can watch me drink tea while these lads do the actual real work. all day. So I will explain what I'm supposed to be doing today and the plan for me. But I thought, jump in, show you lot some of the real work that goes on at the GHC. Yes. So today, for me, I have got a load of first fix to do. Now, you may have seen in a previous video, I was saying how good the lads are in getting all of my holes drilled in all the joists and all the rest of it. So that is what I need to do, first port of call, but I can't really do that this second because if I set some ladders up, they are definitely gonna just barrow me out the way because, and I would as well if I was on the other end of that. So we'll jump back in and we'll explain the distances between all the drilling, and that is going to show you exactly how to drill out the joists. So my ingenious plan, really, was to sheet up this area down there, and then that should stop any of the small bits when I'm drilling out and all the rest of it, dropping down onto the concrete, which ultimately will be quite annoying for Sean and the lads, because they do work hard, and you want to make it all nice and neat, and obviously if it's not neat, and you come back, there's all bits on it, it is very annoying. How that pans out, I don't know, because effectively that sheet is only held up by staples and a couple of twist nails in place to pinch some of it, so fingers crossed. So I'll try and avoid it where I can. But drilling holes. So you may see all the way down there, there is a load of holes drilled. So I've got 4 holes in this bit, 4 holes over that way, and they run all the way through until it gets to this joist here, where it's very, very tight. Now, the gap between the two is very tight there, because it's a trimmer basically that goes on to this way, because the stairwell is changing direction. So we've now changed it, so the stairwell is as we speak right now, stairwell is over there, and that's obviously changing to like this way. So I've then got to sort all these out, so I'm going to mark them all out. I'm going to show you how to do that and the reasons behind why you can't just go hell for leather and just put them wherever you want. Right, the time is now 9:30. Oh. There, made that effortless. 9:30, right? Sean's done it. Absolutely, well, Sean, Lewis and Clay, not me. I genuinely no help whatsoever other than running commentary and bringing the comedy as usual. And yeah, in this heat, so like I say, absolutely smashed it. The boys are, like I say, beautiful, beautiful. So, question time. So, you may be thinking, wow, that is all rough. Why is it not smooth and all the rest of it? There is a big reason why you don't want that float smooth, because if you do have that smoke flume, you're not going to have anywhere for the screed to actually lock into. You're going to have no key for it, and that'll be an absolute nightmare, and it will come up, lift up all the time. So you will see just about, there's a little bit of water shimmer. So the more you tamp that down, the more the water lifts to the ceiling, lifts to the surface, and you don't really want that. You want to leave that now. But because it is about 3 million degrees, this will be going off very, very quick. So for me, now I'm going to go back out to the van and go and get a load of kit out so I can start doing my job, the most important job, the electrics. So kit-wise, we use loads of different versions basically, but the best one I find for doing a job like that, because the joists are 7x3s because of the span. So for those of you who don't know what the span is, it's from one end of the building to the other, so that's the span. And in the building regs there is a table which will tell you what the span, well, what size thickness timbers you need for the span. And that's why they're 7x3s, because normally traditional, like new build, for example, you would have like an 8x2, something like that. And obviously then also we've had to tighten up the centres as well. So normally you'd have like a 400mm centre. I think these are like a 350s, which means that every like 350mm, you'll have another joist. So it does mean that later on down the line that there's going to be a problem. I say a problem, it's not really a problem, it's just going to make life a little bit harder for spacing wise for all the downlights, because it's going to be tight, very, very tight. So first things first, going to need to get some kit out of here. So what we're going to be using is this beast. Now this is the Milwaukee Whole Hog, and it's the big, well, the super hog actually, super hog. And it's an absolute weapon, and I mean an absolute weapon. It's just brutal. And the reason why I bought it is because if you've got some of the old traditional joists, like the really, really old, you know, the 100-year-old timbers, where the grain in the timber, where it's been slow grown and harvested, the grain's really tight, which will mean that you've got, it's much, much harder to actually drill through. So when I've found using a traditional like combi drill, it just burns them out. So that's why we've moved over to the whole hog. Then we're going to be using a 32mm spade bit, whack that in there, and that is really essentially the kit that we're going to be using to drill through. So marking out, let's get in the house, get the string line out, and we'll get the square out, and I'm going to show you how we mark out. Okay, so one of the keys to making your life so much easier as an electrician is to keep all your holes steady, don't be cheeky. Keep your holes all nice and straight, because if they're not straight, not drilled straight, so if you drill in at an angle like this or across, when you're putting your cable through, it has to work 10 times harder to get through. So obviously I can't see down the bottom now because we have covered it up like an absolute genius. So what I now need to do is measure out from this side and put a mark down there, and we'll get the string line through. But if we don't have those straight, what happens is obviously when you're putting the cable through, it does pinch on the corners and that creates like a heat. So as you're pulling the cable through, what I would call it is you'll skin the outer sheathing off, and that is no good, because if you're skinning the outer sheathing off, you are basically ruining a brand new cable. So you can just about see there. So all these are perfectly in line, nice and level. So I'm now going to jump up, put a string line on here. Now, because these joists are thinner from over that side to there, that will be a issue. If we don't then step those in, it'd be a problem. So what we've done, so measuring out, so what we've done is we've gone 1 metre from that wall to our first hole, which is just here. And then we've gone 150, so 150 mil from the centres to each hole. So we've ran 4 this side, 4 that side. The reason why there's so many holes is you may be going, why have you gone absolutely mental? Now in this property, it is not going to be your normal standard installation. It's going to be a much bigger install. And the reason behind that is because there is going to be data going in, speakers, lighting designs, you name it, it's gonna have it. Now, obviously, if I don't have so many holes, that limits my ability to do the job properly. So there's also a table guide in, I think it's the on-site guide, and I'm guessing it'll be put up around here somewhere. And in there, it'll give you the references on where you should be drilling in the spans, and also what size holes, what distance you should have from one hole to the next, depending on what size drill bit you're using. Because if you can't put a 32mm spade bit and then leave a 32mm gap and then go again, because you'll weaken the structure of the timber itself. So my general rule of thumb is if you go 3 to 4 times bigger than the actual drill bit you're using, you should be okay. Obviously making sure you drill right smack bang in the centre of the joists. So that being said, I need to put a fixing in here, go down the far end, measure out and get the string line out. So we need to use the string line here. I've put a screw in handily. And then what we now need to do is get that all the way down to my mark that I've put on down here. Doing this all one-handed, obviously, goes without saying. So you pull that tight and then ping. And then that will give me a nice straight line all the way through. We can mark the rest of that out. So now you can see we've got the originals in here, and now we've put our string line in. So you can see you've got 150, 150, 150. So now we need to mark this side out, which we're going to be using our mini square, which is actually a roofing square, but I find it perfect for this. And then we need it 85mm down, mark those out, and then we can get drilling, which is the most important thing. So once they're all marked out, and then we're going to transfer that line all the way through and then do the same over there. So while I mark that out, it'll be a good time for you guys to subscribe to the channel. Links in the corner, and it's where we share hints and tips like this. Okay, so now, done all the drawings out, we've marked all our joists, which is absolute fantastic. Really love that job, it's great on the knees. And now we get to play with this bad boy. So we're gonna get a couple of them drilled out for you so you can see, and then we'll stick you on time lapse and yeah, watch the magic happen and all the wood chips. And I've had to stop Sean doing work because he is too noisy to record this bit. But it's nice and cool outside anyway, isn't it, Sean?
Yeah, I'm not sweating at all.
No, absolutely freezing outside. Okay, so as usual, safety specs are on. I have got my noise cancellers on. Not that I really need that, it's only really when Sean starts making a big racket again. So like I say, 32mm drill bit. You need to make sure that as you're going through, now I'm probably not going to go too far at the end because I don't want to cover Sean's lovely new floor. But you want to keep it nice and level and let the tool do the job. just like that, 4 holes done, about 3 million to go. Okay, so smashed a couple of those out. As you've just seen, I've got absolutely tons to do, so let's get rattling. Oh, knacker shot, strong. So one of the things it's important to note that that whole hog absolutely blasts through batteries, and because it is, you know, minus 58 outside, these are struggling to keep cool. That's why they're flashing. So I've only got a few holes left to do, but it is an absolute beast. But today it is, I think it's safe to say it's about 65 degrees Celsius, I think right now, isn't it, Sean? Probably more. Yeah, more like 70, I'd say. So it is eating through those. But I'll bring you in a little bit closer so you can see what the back of these look like. Obviously, once we've drilled through. So here we go. So as you can see, we've drilled through all the way. I've gone for 3 this side because the 4th will be a little bit tighter on that end. So 4th will be a bit tight on this end. So I'm not necessarily sure whether I need that because this is where the new stairwell is going to be. So you can see there's 2 22mm stop ends on that end. That is smack bang. If they were left like that now, they would be going through the top tread, which probably customers aren't going to like that too much. So on the back of these, so all you need to do, you lift as you go through with that, with a spade bit, it generally leaves a big chunk on the end of it. So as you're going through and putting all the cables on, it generally, what it does, it all cleans it all out as you go in. So there are other drill bits you can use for it. So you can use like an auger bit, which again is great, but I find that the spade bit's the fastest. There's a Forstner bit that you can use one of those, but they're a little bit slow, but they are really precise at the end of them. So they don't really get so much of the splintering and stuff like that, but obviously it does have a knock-on effect on speed, like massively. So speed, efficiency equals money, so use a spade bit. So as you can see, we've now blasted through all of those holes, and there is a lot. I've drilled out a lot, and I've gone through 3 batteries, which is quite a bit going through 3 batteries. But like I say, it's too hot, batteries can't cope with it. It is genuinely really, really hot today. So tools of choice, definitely. If you have not tried one of these, it is not a sponsored by Milwaukee. I wish it was, but it really isn't. This came out of our hard-earned moolah. But yeah, absolute beast. There is a step down from this one. I think it's called just the whole hog or the hog or something. Pros and cons about this. The pros is it's an absolute weapon and it will rip through anything. The cons of this, it is weighty, but that kind of plays an advantage in some ways. But yeah, if you're a bit of a lightweight, then probably not for you, and also probably not the trade either. But yeah, so this has been one of the jobs of many to do. So hopefully you've enjoyed it, and if you have and you haven't yet subscribed, is where we show you all of the trade secrets of what we're doing throughout the day, throughout the channel, and turn your notifications on because we release a video every single Tuesday at 6:30, and then we're launching. There is a Mark II channel coming, so stay tuned for that. So thank you very much for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Oh no, he's gonna kill me. He is going to kill me.